back again. In this episode, I want to share with you this H22 swap EK hatch that we have here. I've done a lot of work to this car actually. It's been sitting here for a while. I've been waiting on parts. But what we're going to do on this episode is the clutch. We're going to put an action clutch in it and Hasport motor mounts and replace the rear wheel bearing because it's roaring once you get up to, you pick up speed, you start to hear it in the back. But I actually did a lot of work to this car previously. I posted it on my Instagram page. But, I did, it came in not running good, and it just, a lot of the parts just needed to be updated or replaced. But we did like intake, header, full exhaust, a bunch of suspension parts on it. Got it tuned by Jason Waters, made over 200 horsepower. It runs good, but the clutch is just, since day one when he dropped it off, the clutch wasn't, performing right. But so I'm gonna swap that out and, like I said, get this officially done and out of here, gone to the customer so he can do whatever he wants to do to it. But yeah, I waited on these Hasport mounts for over a month, so this has been sitting here at the shop just waiting. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of things that I did to it, what we got going on. These are Hasport mounts. Hasport's always good quality, really good mounts. Yeah, you see right now it's got the like no-name brand mounts on it. The back one is shot and it's just vibrating like crazy. So we're gonna put the Hasports on here. But yeah, we did a lot of work to this. Valve cover was painted, intake done up. That's a 4-inch intake from like Summit Racing, like the piping is, with the reducer 4-inch to 3-inch to the throttle body. We got the PLM header, and it goes all the way back to, it's a 1323-inch exhaust all the way back. It sounds real good. But yeah, this thing came in and it was just not in, like I said, a lot of things need to be done to it, but there's the clutch we have as well. Action clutch. Always good quality. Of course, I'm doing Honda, OEM axle shaft seals and the rear main while I got the tranny out. Yeah, action clutch. I believe stage 2. But yeah, it's got a sprung clutch, so sprung 6-puck. So yeah, the CK is pretty decent. I mean, it needs some TLC, but these cars are hard to come by, so you can definitely, do them upright and get them back to mint condition, or a paint job or whatever, a little bit of body work, but they're definitely hard to come by. So these EK hatches, man, they're very nice. I've had quite a few of them. But yeah, I'll probably post, at the very end of this video, I'll post some pictures of all the other stuff that I did to it, because I do still have the pictures saved, and I got a couple of dyno videos I could post up, from when, at the dyno session with Jason Waters. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it, start taking this tranny out and mounts and all that, and get this thing ready back to the customer. So what I'll be doing up here is taking the intake tube out of our way so we have room to work. Disconnect the battery terminal, the positive battery terminal. That way we don't get shocked or anything like that while we're messing with the starter here. So the H22 trannies, they got shift cables. So the cables are bolted to the top of it. So we'll just take those bolts out and just move the cables to the side out of our way. And on the H series, the starter's in the front. So that'll be up here in the front of the tranny. We'll take the starter out. And then we'll raise it up, take the wheels off, take the axles out, and then the transmission is bolted with I think 5 or 6 bolts to the block. So we'll take those loose, and then tranny will come out, and the clutch will be there. And we'll take the clutch out, inspect that, see what's wrong with that, see what's bad inside there, and yeah, so. starter's out. I've got everything out of the way for me to where I can get all these bell housing bolts loose. Look at that. It's already loose. So the shift cables were here. These shift cables right here. They were on the bracket here. I just took it off the bracket there. And I've moved the complete, I've moved the whole harness just out of my way. That way it gives me more room for everything. Slave cylinder is usually mounted to the front. I moved that out of the way. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go up with the vehicle, take the axles out, and take all the bolts out from the bell housing and pull the tranny out. And also there was the ground. So you'll have your ground on the front of the transmission there, and then the power wire coming from your terminal, your battery terminal, was to the starter. So you have to take that off as well. But like I suspected, so I knew that this had either a clutch issue or that something was going on with the fork and the release bearing, and that's what I suspect. But I didn't want to tell the customer, I told him tranny has to come off regardless, but we might as well go with a new clutch that is, better than what's in there, because I believe it's just a cheaper clutch installed anyways. So action clutch will be a lot better. I didn't want to pull the tranny off and see that, that the clutch was bad, so I went ahead and ordered one. But I knew that something was either bad with the clutch or the fork, and you can see right here. Look at this here. So this will be loose. Let's show you. This will be loose once you take that slave cylinder off, but I suspect something is going on wrong right here. I guarantee you it is not on, the fork is not on the bearing right. So we'll see. All right, once you have, once you have that off of that ball joint there, off of here, like I said, this spindle can, come all the way down. So then you take the fork off of the strut, and this comes out, and then I'll go under, pop it out. All right, so you just pull the axle out, like I said, get you a pry bar, pop that out, pull it out of the transmission. Something to drain it in as well. we got the axles out. So the rear T-bracket up here, you'll want to take this bolt out and this bolt out and this bolt out here, because that's held on, that's bolted actually to the transmission. You can leave this bolt, for right now, we're gonna leave this bolt on. That way when I pull the transmission off, the T-bracket will still hold the block while I have the transmission off. That way it doesn't just sag very too far down. But so yeah, I'll keep that bolt intact there, because that's to the block, the actual block of it. But yeah, we're taking these three out. Alright, so now we have both of those 17mm bolts off. Those were, bolting to the transmission. We have the bolts off of the T-bracket that go to the transmission as well. And so pretty much all it does, it just has a couple of bolts left. One bolt there and maybe 2 or 3 up top area. And then I'm going to lower it down and I'm going to take the mount off, the passenger mount, and then wiggle the tranny out, inspect the clutch. Like I said, I believe it's a clutch fork issue, but to be safe, I wanted to go ahead and put a good clutch in there. But yeah, this is the underview of the exhaust on here. So my buddy 270 Fab, Mikkel, he made this test pipe for us. Pretty nice. But yeah, this is 3-inch all the way, 1320 exhaust. Sounds real good too. But yeah. So it's been sitting, got shit everywhere. But yeah, I did this whole exhaust, did the whole suspension right here, the control arms, the brace. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, car's been sitting, it needs a good wash. But yeah, this exhaust definitely sounds great. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this mount off and pull the tranny out. There's only just one bolt down there, one bolt there. That one we saw earlier was already loose, but yeah, 3 more bolts, slide the tranny out, lower it down, bring the car up, and inspection. So this mount, this bracket is only held on, it has 2 bolts on there, but it's really supposed to be held on by 3. This bracket at least. But yeah, just a couple bolts here on the bracket. Take the mount out, be able to lower it down, pull this thing out. So the mount and bracket is off. So all we got to do now is take the 1, 2, 3 bolts off the housing, pull it out. We'll lower this swap a little bit down, and then pull it out. Just a little tip. So on the H swap, so just a tip on the H swapped EKs. There's not enough room. There's not a lot of room right here on the frame for this for these studs. Like I said, you gotta pull the tranny to the left, a good bit, and those studs are gonna hit the frame. Like I said, I'm already tilted down a good bit, but if you just take the studs out, you'll have plenty of room to pull the tranny out as much as you want to the side. That's what I'm doing now. So what you do is you just put a nut on top of another nut and tighten them down, and then you can back out the stud. as I suspected, this was the issue here. The rod bearing was just not installed right with the fork. Because I knew, so what it was doing, you know, the clutch, when you push the clutch pedal down, it would just let out like right at the bottom, and I could just feel that it was something wrong with the fork, that right there. So either bent or just, like I said, this bearing not, see, look at that. The fork is supposed to go between these right here. And what it was, I think it was just sitting there like that. So when you push it in, that makes it have that poor clutch pedal feel. But anyways, I'm gonna replace this, put it on correctly, lube it up. But so I'll just definitely swap that out and replace this clutch with that new action clutch we got. I don't even know what brand this is. So we're gonna go with the proven brand, so. Yes, sir. But yeah, but even this spring right here was just off, you know. Whoever did this clutch job on it definitely did a poor job. Like I said, they just installed it incorrectly. The fork, the bearing, who knows if even the clutches and pressure plate and everything is even torqued down, but we'll get it right. We'll get it right. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and take this pressure plate off, take the flywheel off, and replace the rear main seal. That's the rear main crank seal that sits behind the flywheel. That way we know that it's not gonna have any leaks. You know, once you're all the way in here, there's no point in not replacing the rear main seal. So, all right, let's see. Yay. So if you look at this, this clutch looks like it was probably fairly new when installed, but it's just a cheaper brand. They don't last, they don't perform the same as something good. Look at all the hot spots on there already, all those marks. And then these pads, look, you see one is already, let's see. So you see one is already cracked right here. So, you know, some of the material is missing. So, yeah, just like I said, man, quality parts matter. This is probably a cheap, you know, eBay 6-puck clutch that you order for $100-something or so. Yeah, I mean, look at these hot spots already. Hot spots all on the flywheel as well. I really probably gonna have to, you know, hold me up a day or so, but I need to take this flywheel and get it resurfaced just to be 100%. So this is your rear main seal right here, rear main crank seal. I'll just put a flathead hammer here and hammer that out, pry it out, replace it, clean the whole area off. Before I did work on this, I did some seals up top, so you know, that's probably why this is a little oily as well. It does look like it was probably leaking a little bit, but like I said, oil leaks from the top obviously have to come down, so it just had to be all sprayed off. But yeah, I'm gonna replace this seal, and then I'm gonna hit up, I got a guy that can resurface that flywheel and get it done as soon as possible. I'll probably wait for it at the shop, but and then put the fresh flywheel on and the new clutch and be done with it. See, just like that. So. We got the OEM Honda crank seal. I always use OEM Honda seals and gaskets, unless like the customer just brought it themselves, and you know. But what I'll do, I'll just lube this up a little bit, set it on there. You have to kind of roll this over the crankshaft, and then hammer it evenly in place. And get you something that's nice and flat like this. And hammer it evenly around it. You want the surface to be pretty even with the surface of the actual, the rear main seal plate. So it's pretty even all the way around. Pretty even all the way around. So yeah, that rear main seal is nice and even all the way around the whole surface. So fresh seal. So I'll get the flywheel resurfaced, put that back on, put the new clutch on, tranny back on, and finish this thing up. All right, I'm back. This is day 2 of getting this done. I would have had everything knocked out in one day, but I ran into the issue with the flywheel needed to be resurfaced. So earlier this morning, I had to go take it to a buddy who has a machine shop, and you know, I had to get that resurfaced, get that nice and fresh for him. And I was doing the rear wheel bearing as well. But I ran into a little issue with that. I had to go get a couple more cutting wheels because I got to cut the race off of the hub. It just took the wheel bearing out, but the race stayed on there. Yeah, but so I'm gonna keep on working here. I got the flywheel resurface. I went to a couple stores, got me some goodies for the shop, you know, chemicals and whatnot. But we back at it. Let's go. So this is the flywheel, nice and resurfaced now. Good condition. No more hot spots or anything, so mount it back up. Rear main seal is already done. So I'm gonna torque the flywheel down, torque the new clutch, pressure plate and everything down, and put the trans back on, and be good to go. So before I put the flywheel on, I inspected these bolts right here, the flywheel bolts. And I noticed that 3 of them are questionable. They're already looking kind of stripped out. And, you know, these threads are not looking the best. I don't know. I could probably zoom in. Look at that. So, yeah, that is questionable. There's 3 flywheel bolts that are like that. And luckily I have spares. So, yeah, I usually have spares laying around. So I'll come up with 3 different flywheel bolts. I'll chunk these in the trash. And, yeah, because these definitely are not going to go back on if I'm doing the job. But, yeah, I think that someone just didn't torque it down right. Because when I was taking the flywheel off, I could tell that a couple of them just came off easily, and one was really tight, so I doubt it was torqued down properly. The crank, you know, it's not messed up or anything. Like, the flywheel's been wobbling bad on it, but, yeah, we'll see.